So recently, Congresswoman Maxine Waters went off on this rant on MSNBC on why Donald Trump should be impeached.
Where do you think this goes from here?
Well, I have hope with the appointment of Special Counsel Mueller, and I think we're going to learn a lot. Some people are concerned about all of the different investigations going on. Let them all go at it, because there's plenty to discover. And I believe when we get the subpoenas and we get the special counsel at work doing the real digging into whether or not there was collusion, and the other committees are, trying to establish certain facts, we're going to learn a lot about the connections between this president, his allies, and the Kremlin. And it's going to be very revealing. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear the word impeachment, but I believe it's going to lead right to impeachment.
So after watching this video, it's pretty clear that Maxine Waters doesn't like Trump and wants to see him impeached for concluding with Russia during the 2016 election. Now, after watching this video, in fact, after watching a plethora of videos of Maxine Waters discussing the Donald Trump-Russia connection, it really was ironic to me to hear Maxine Waters talk about Trump being a corrupted individual whom cheated his way to office. See, I live in Inglewood, California. I live in, the 43rd district, the district in which Maxine Waters is under. And let me tell you something about Maxine Waters, man. Off the bat, she herself is considered to be, ironically enough, a corrupted candidate. And this had me thinking. After hearing her speak, after hearing her talk, after hearing her say all these bad things about Donald Trump, I took a look around my community. I took a look around all the streets of Inglewood. I took a walk down Crenshaw Avenue just to see how our community was doing, per se. And let me tell you this. She's talking all this shit on here, yet Inglewood High School, yet all the, local areas are still doing pretty bad. And, I don't really see her talking about the low SAT scores and the black-on-black violence as she is talking about Donald Trump this year. In fact, she never really talks about that kind of stuff. But again, that's just an issue that really concerned me. However, the one key reason why I decided to make this video was due to how she was acting in all of them. See, in philosophy, there's this term called reasoning. It's a very well-used term by a majority of philosophers. They always discuss this. You have famous individuals such as Thomas Aquinas, you have John Locke, you even have Thomas Hobbes, whom always talked about this notion of reason within the human mind. Simply put, reason is best described as the rational thought process, where you see things rationally, where you are unbiased in how you see the world, and you kind of make a clear, concise understanding of events happening. Now, with all these politicians talking on and on about Trump's impeachment and all this stuff occurring on the news, constantly babbling about an anonymous source linking information due to the connection, one question popped into my head when it came to these politicians saying all of this stuff about Donald Trump. Do you want Trump to be impeached because you felt as if he threatened the sovereignty of our nation? Or do you want Trump to be impeached because you hate Trump? Now, the reason why this question is so important to me is because of the notion of hate. See, hate is directly linked to the word anger. It's directly linked to the entire concept of anger. Because when you hate somebody, 99% of the time, you are angry at the individual. And one thing that's made pretty clear in all the political philosophy books that I read is that when you're angry at somebody, you act extremely unreasonable. And history clearly states this. One can easily look back at the Rwandan genocide, for example, and see that the Hutu were just angry at the Tutsi for usually being treated better, especially in terms of the Belgians, treating them as if they were higher up than the Hutu. You can even go as far back again to the Holocaust and see how Hitler was essentially letting out a majority of his anger towards the Jewish people. And because of this anger that was fueled up into these people, they committed acts that now we see today as cruel and evil. But let's be honest here, back in the day, especially if you were a Hutu during the 1990s, you felt as if it was perfectly reasonable to kill a Tootsie, because you're like, well, they've always had everything and they've always kind of treated us like shit before. But again, now in modern times, we see that as the bad side of history. But to get back to the point, it really concerns me to think that Maxine Waters is just doing all of this stuff because she hates the fact that Donald Trump was actually elected into presidency. Moreover, she hates the fact that Donald Trump actually beat Hillary Clinton. See, Maxine Waters was a clear supporter of Hillary. She's a clear supporter of the Democrats overall. So it makes me think. It should make you think as well. Are these Democrats, are these anti-Trumpers doing all of this because they actually care about the Russian conclusion? Are they doing all this because they just want to see Trump get out of here because they were proven wrong? And this even goes deeper. See, let's say, and I honestly think I'm 80% sure this is going to happen. Let's say the new FBI director comes out and says there was no collusion with Trump and Russia. How will she act? In fact, how will a majority of Democrats act after the fact? And this is a very important question because, well, it's really going to show how they actually feel about Donald Trump. Let's say if no information comes out and individuals like, well, let's say there was no actual evidence towards the conclusion, and let's say individuals like Maxine Waters just stands up and says, okay, I was wrong. Trump can do his presidency. I might not agree with some of the bills he tries to set in place, but I'll support him as our president. Or let's say she finds another reason to say he should be impeached. Because let's be honest here, anybody who's familiar with the political climate in America, you damn as hell know, since January, people have been finding very strange reasonings to get Trump impeached, from him being a racist, to being Islamophobic, to him having sexual assault charges, yada this, yada that. People have always been trying to find a way to impeach Trump. When you add anger to this equation, however, it becomes somewhat of a curious thing to be concerned about. Now, to get back to the point, it really concerns me to think that Maxine Waters, in fact, the entire Democratic Party, is doing all of this, is calling for an investigation just because they hate Trump. In my opinion, I believe that a majority of this stuff is probably taking place because they're just disappointed at the fact that Trump managed to win the 2016 election when it was pretty much clear, poll after poll, statistic after statistic, that Hillary was going to essentially win by a landslide. The best way I can kind of give an example here is imagine a time when you were a kid and you were proven wrong. See, naturally, you were going to be angry about it. You hate the fact that you're wrong. You hate the fact that that other person was somehow right. And me being a Trump supporter, I'm going to be honest with you here. I knew that there were a bunch of closeted Trump supporters in these swing states, and I knew they were going to show themselves. And even I will admit that I acted somewhat cocky in terms when people told me that Trump was going to lose. I looked at a lot of individuals and I said, just wait. This attitude, of course, is going to have a chain reaction, especially when you deal with individuals such as Democrats. A majority of professors are Democrats. A majority of professors from top Ivy League schools, for Christ's sakes, were saying that Trump has no chance of winning. When you are proven wrong that badly, especially when you are an expert in your field, considering how high Maxine Waters ranked among congresswomen, you're going to lash out against that, and it's going to be an angry response towards Trump winning the election. Now, as I previously said, this of course is going to lead to unreasonable actions, and this is what I'm again concerned about. Are they calling out for all of this stuff because they actually care about our nation? Are they all calling this stuff out because they are pissed off at the fact that Trump won? And I'll keep repeating this question because it's not being asked enough. Not by conservative YouTubers, not by liberal YouTubers. Do you hate him? And moreover, this goes even into the Hillary email issue. Why wasn't Hillary getting this much crap for the email issue, despite the fact that we had evidence of it happening prior to the event? In fact, we had more evidence of Hillary's email connection than we do of the Trump connection. There weren't really anonymous sources for the email connection. Yet the Democrats didn't really care about that. The Democrats didn't support Bernie automatically once some of the information started coming out. They kept supporting Hillary. So this all comes back into one big ultimate question. Do they actually care? Or do they just want to see something happen that they think should happen? In other words, do they care about you, the people whom they're supposed to represent, or are they just angry at the fact that they were wrong? And Maxine Waters, in my opinion, is showing this hate-driven attitude that, unfortunately, I think we're going to see for the rest of the time in current U.S. politics, especially if Donald Trump is still in office. Now, off the bat, I'm not trying to put Democrats and liberals all in this bubble. I don't believe in that. However, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to call out all the super-duper anti-Trump people that we are currently seeing at protests on YouTube, the Anti-Fascist Association members. I'm calling those people out because these people usually have the key signs of what the Hutu had during the Rwandan genocide. They're angry and pissed off. They feel as if they have a reason to be angry and pissed off. And they're always trying to find a justification to be angry and pissed off. All of this combined together, and I'll repeat it again, causes people to do unreasonable things. Maxine Waters, in my opinion, is scaring the hell out of me because she's doing a lot of unreasonable things. The way she talks about impeachment as if it's some sort of joke, as if it's guaranteed to happen, really kind of shows her mindset. She wants Trump to be impeached. Anybody who cares about the sovereignty of this nation, anybody who cares about America, damn hell knows that impeachment is the last thing you would want for the president of the United States of America. Maxine Waters is not showing that rhetoric. She wants him out. And to me, that shows that she just doesn't like Trump. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about me. She cares about her being right. That's about it. She was wrong that she was wrong that Hillary was going to win. She was wrong that a Democrat was going to win. She was wrong that Democrats were going to take the House and the Senate. She was wrong. And now she's doing all of this stuff, not for you, but to prove her own ego correct, to give her an ego boost. And that's it. And again, it's just my opinion, but after viewing what she's doing, it's pretty clear to me. She just hates the guy. And of course, again, there's a key question here. After Trump gets impeached, what's the next step? Oh, Mike Pence is going to be president. That really doesn't change anything, doesn't it, Maxine? It won't get rid of the House and Senate. We still have till 2018. Not that much is going to change. But then another important factor comes along here. Let's say Trump isn't impeached, and I highly believe that there really isn't no evidence for the Russian connection. One or two things are going to happen. They're going to either man up, woman up, and say, okay, we were wrong about this. There really isn't anything about Trump we can do now. Well, we will still fight against him when it comes to certain laws because we don't agree with them philosophically, but we will support our president. That's what they'll say if you know they're just doing this for the protection of our nation. However, if they find something else to complain about, if they try to bring up another sexual assault case, if they find more anonymous sources of Trump doing something fishy without any credible evidence, it kind of shows you what they're about. And again, I'm not talking about Democrats or liberals as a whole. I respect you if you give me a valid reason to believe what you believe. I'm talking about the people who hate Trump just because they hate Trump. And Maxine Waters is one of them. Hopefully, if she is proven wrong, finally, over the last 30 years, we can probably kick her out. Guys, that's just been my rant. Again, the overview of this video, I didn't like what Maxine Waters was saying because I just didn't feel as if what she was saying was based off of reason, but it was more based off of hate. I gave the examples of why hate and politics aren't good. It really doesn't lead to the betterment of a nation. It just leads to a person getting a quick ego boost. If you guys like this video, please like, please share it, please subscribe. I'm going to be posting a Patreon link below. All the money that I will receive from Patreon or PayPal donations will be going towards the podcast I'm going to be setting up with me and my friends. Just to make that clear. I'm not going to be spending it on cars or any stupid shit other YouTubers spend it on. And then overall, guys, I really hope you guys learned something from this video. I got to get back to schoolwork, and I am out of here.